Thank you. Hi, long time no see. So this has been ages since I filmed a video like this. It may seem, some people might be thinking, well, this is your first video on this channel. It isn't. I've got a couple of very old, slightly cringy videos hidden because I didn't want anyone to see them anymore. But hi, I'm Anna. Most of you will probably call me Anna, so you can call me that. I wanted to give YouTube a go again because I like creating things, and a lot of things have changed in my life since I last attempted YouTube, and I feel like I finally have more peace and time to actually do something with this. I hope this doesn't fail. For a long time, I thought about what I want to talk about in this first video because I have so many ideas. I've had so many ideas for the last 2 years or so, and I couldn't formulate them into something comprehensible that I could use in a video. And then COVID happened, and I changed my job. I went from being employed to being a freelancer. I guess that's also being employed, but not by a boss, you get what I mean. And I just had to figure out a lot of things. And during this time where I had to be my own boss, I'm still my own boss, but during this time where I had to figure out all these things, I ran into a lot of problems. I ran into a lot of realizations that made me rethink everything about my life. I found that I struggled in particular with internalized capitalism, which is what this video is about, and which I didn't know was a thing that existed. So during COVID, I guess I kind of lost my job, quit my job. It was kind of a mutual decision. I went through sort of, and it wasn't a burnout, but I had a breakdown. Because what people may not know about me is that I'm autistic and I've got ADHD and a long history of depression, mental health issues and that kind of stuff. It turns out that after walking on eggshells for, I guess, over 1.5 years or something, I couldn't take it. I couldn't handle being in an office for 9 hours a day. I couldn't handle, as lovely as my colleagues were, I couldn't handle being around people constantly, having to mask constantly. And that will be a topic for a different video sometimes about masking and all that stuff. But I just broke down at work. I cried, and then I cried for 3 days straight at home, and I had my parents pick me up, and something I realized it needed to change. I needed a change of pace. I needed to be free to do my own thing because I felt very constricted, and I decided I want to be a freelancer. I wanted that for a long time, but I never had the guts to do it, and now I was kind of feeling like I was forced to do it, like I had no choice. So that's what happened, and I became a freelancer, and things went well. And then came the question, okay, what does my planning look like? What does my time management look like? What do I do with all this time I have now? That's kind of where I ran into problems, where I was constantly feeling like I was not doing enough, like I was not being productive enough, like I was not being a useful human being, which is ridiculous. I just stuck to what I knew. You have to work 8 hours a day, or you have to work, you have to be productive for these amount of hours a day. And I would constantly clock like 3 to 5 hours. And I was like, how is this possible? I am sitting behind a laptop for over 8 hours. How can I because that's the thing, only clock 3 or 5 hours when I'm working this much? I felt really bad. I felt really guilty. I felt like a failure. I felt like I wasn't maybe not cut out to be a freelancer. And it just gave me so much stress. And then I started looking up videos about productivity and blog posts, and I saw people having these morning routines, so I tried a morning routine, and none of it worked. And that's kind of when I came across the term internalized capitalism, because what it basically is that we are so driven to think that we need to be productive to have value. And that's what bothered me. That's just like, I could just in my head not accept that I only worked 3 to 5 hours a day, because that was not enough to me. And I feel like that is also right now a bit of an issue we see. Like in the past couple of years, the word burnout has been spoken of so many times, and it seems like it's only increasing. The people with burnouts are increasing, and I'm like, this is not normal. This is not what we should do. We are not brought on this earth to just be productive and constantly produce and not live, you know? Internalized capitalism is such a big thing now. Like, I have spoken to so many freelancers who also were like, I feel like I'm not doing enough. I feel like I should be more productive. I should be working more hours. But why? Why would we, like, if I can get my job done, if I have an assignment and get it done in 4 hours instead of 8, why do I need to fill up the extra 4 hours? Like, I've done my job, I've done it well, I got paid, hopefully. Some clients still owe me money. But like, why do I need to work that 8 hours to feel fulfilled? And it's so frustrating that even when I told people around me, like, oh, I only, that's the problem. I need to stop saying only, because that's not, that diminishes the amount of work I do, because I said I only work 25 hours a week. And people were like, oh, well, don't you have enough projects? Or, you know, they're assuming that I... Hi, it's me from the editing zone. My camera cut out like 7 times while filming this, but what I was gonna say here is that people just assume that because I don't work the full 40 hours that I don't have enough projects, but that's not the case. It's just that I choose to not work as many hours, so I have more spare time to do whatever I want, to have that freedom in my life that I desire. That's it. Go back to the video now. I know people who are like, you know, I want to work 50 hours a day. I know people who are constantly on the go, constantly, they don't take a moment to stop and just breathe and just be and just exist and just feel like human. And not everything you do has to be productive. It doesn't have to have value. You can write a poem just because you like it, not because you want to write a poetry. I mean, you can, but like, and I can make a painting for my walls. I've got here and over there, I've got plenty of paintings that I made that are just for me, that are just because I like them. And we need to do more of that. We need to do more things that we like without it being productive, without it having a productive value, without, you know, wanting to sell it or wanting to do something with it. We can just do things for ourselves, or do things for your friends. Like, make your friend, like, if you knit, make your friend a nice little scarf or whatever. You don't have to do everything for a reason. I started looking up the circadian rhythm, which is kind of your internal body clock, and I started looking into how that worked. And while I did that, I found out that human brains typically cannot concentrate for much longer than 5 hours. So it's ridiculous that I just hit myself. As I was saying, it's just ridiculous that we are encouraged to work 8 hours a day when our brain can only be like fully focused for about 4 to 5 hours. But it just kind of blew my mind, like, hey, I am not weird. It's okay that I I need to stop saying only. I only have 3 to 5 hours of productive hours a day, because that's all my brain can handle. Previously I would take another Ritalin, because I take meds for my ADHD. I was taking another Ritalin and I would just like try and push myself to just go over my boundary and try and be focused and be productive, so I would somehow feel better about myself, even though I was burned out after that, which makes no sense. But now I've just learned to accept that when I'm done, when my brain is finished, it's finished. Your brain is an organ. You need to take care of it, and if you don't, you're gonna have a burnout. And like I said, burnouts are so frequent, so common now, and I think it's time we as a society start to look at if maybe just maybe we're asking too much. It's hard to feel like you're doing enough in a society that always asks you to strive and do your best. But that's also such a weird thing. Like, what is your best? People always say, like, you need to be productive, you need to push your limits, you need to always get the best out of yourself. But who decides what the best version of yourself is except for you? Like, what does it look? Are you the best version of yourself when you constantly produce? Are you the best version of yourself when you constantly provide value, when you're constantly busy? Is that the best version of yourself? Is that what we humans are made for? No, I don't think so. We only live once. We have one life. Unless you're an immortal, I guess, but we only have one life, and this is a quite short life as well, and it could be over before, you know, it could be over any moment. Like, I could walk out of here and get hit by a bus or something, you know, like, I don't know. And it's not fair that some of us spend our entire lives just being stressed and worried and always trying, you know, to meet that goal and be productive without actually living. Like, when's the last time you've like gone out to a field, laid down in the field in the sun, and just done nothing, just be there and relax and enjoy the environment? Like, when's the last time you've done nothing without feeling guilty for it? I hear plenty of people around me say, oh well, I've done nothing all day and I'm so useless. Like, no, you have a purpose, you have use, you have value. Even if you have sat on the couch all day and you did nothing, like, Even if you stayed in bed all day, you still value it. Like, you are here, you are breathing, and you exist, and existing is enough. It should be enough, but it isn't in our society. That causes depression. Like, there are people who are dealing with mental health issues and are worried they're not being productive enough. I feel shit about it. But like, you are battling things in your head. You are battling a chemical imbalance in your head. Why are you worried about being productive or not? Like, that's not your main priority. Your main priority is taking care of yourself. We should prioritize ourselves. We should prioritize our happiness, our freedom, and our peace. And I feel like a lot of people are lacking the latter. I want to create experiences. I just don't want to give up my freedom for the sake of making money, for the sake of being productive, for the sake of providing value. Even, you know, I have value even if I sit here staring at the wall all day. Anyway, my camera has shut itself off like 7 times now, so I guess it's trying to tell me that I need to wrap this up. So I think the last thing I want to say is that you have value no matter what. Don't let yourself get trapped by the idea that you need to be productive constantly to have value, that it's not okay to just be lazy. Being lazy is good sometimes, you know, you need to give your brain time to reset. And if you do not take time to pause and take a breather, you're gonna burn yourself out, and that's the last thing you want, because then you're even further away from where you want to be. It's been nice, I guess, to just kind of get these things off my chest. I am currently trying to just be more mindful of myself and just allowing myself to take breaks, and you should do the same. Like, go lie in a field of grass and just close your eyes, feel the sun, don't get sunburned, but like, you know, it's okay to do nothing. It's okay to just enjoy being alive, just to appreciate being alive, appreciate having what you've got, appreciate things around you, and just take it slow, take it easy. You don't always have to be productive. That's the thing I want to tell you. It's okay to just live. You don't exist to provide value. You don't exist to provide productivity. You exist to just exist. You exist to be a human being. You exist to enjoy life around you. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you want to continue the conversation, just comment below and we can chat. Give a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will be back with more videos hopefully soon. So yeah, bye!